It's going away. From London, the latest from Podnews.net with AdvertiseCast. Google Podcasts is to close, the company has announced. The news confirms our coverage in August that YouTube Music will allow you to add any RSS feed to the app, so you can continue to listen to your favourite shows in YouTube Music as a replacement. The company is working on a migration tool, and they've also communicated the upcoming closure to listeners already. Google Podcasts will close, in inverted commas, later in 2024. They say it launched in June 2018. The player was in all Android phones, but it wasn't always installed as a separate app. The founder, Zach Renaud-Wadeen, left Google in September 2021. The app only achieved a lower than 5% market share in downloads. It was the third attempt by Google as a podcast player. The first, a 20% time project Google Listen app, was based on Google Reader. Then there was a US-only launch of podcasts within Google Play Music, which cached audio. Their fourth attempt, YouTube Music, has yet to add podcasts in many countries. As pre-announced in June, Apple Podcasts has launched a tool to connect third-party app subscriptions to exclusive podcast content. If you're a subscriber to, say, the Lingo Kids or Calm apps, you'll automatically find exclusive subscriber-only shows in your Apple Podcasts library. British podcast network Noiser has achieved over 13 million monthly downloads for the first time since launching in 2020. It's doubled in size over the past 18 months, in part due to the success of Real Survival Stories and the company's recent partnership with BBC Sounds. The company is a self-funded indie run by Pascal Hughes. Announced on the same day as Spotify's AI translations, Wondercraft AI also launched an AI dubbing tool. Unlike Spotify's pilot, the Wondercraft tool is available to all podcasts in 13 different languages. We link to our own daily podcast, this one, dubbed into Spanish today. Alitu has launched text-based editing, allowing podcasters to edit their audio as effortlessly as they would with text in a document. It's part of Alitu's full podcast workload toolset. Podcast producer Evergreen Podcasts announced a strategic partnership with ad tech company Sounder. Have you got an amazing 10-minute piece of audio that emphasizes sonic experimentation and pushes the boundaries of audio storytelling? On Air Fest is looking for your content. You've a week left to enter. New Zealand radio station News Talk ZB has launched a subscription platform, ZB Plus, featuring written content from a variety of journalists. The station's podcasts achieve 540,000 downloads a month. And Liberty Media and SiriusXM are planning a merger. Liberty owns 83% of the company. In People News at KQED, Ernesto Aguilar is now Executive Director of Radio Programming and Content DEI. He says, in addition to the exciting broadcasts we do, I'll also now oversee diversity, equity and inclusion initiatives in the content division. And in podcast news, after Adam Curry told them off for only publishing their conversations with podcasters on YouTube rather than a podcast, Buzzsprout Conversations has been launched by the podcast host as an actual podcast. The show lets you learn from podcasters about their success. And In Retrospect with Susie Banikarim and Jessica Bennett is new from iHeart. Wondering if there's a cultural moment from your past that looks different in retrospect. Every week, the hosts revisit a pop culture moment from the 80s and 90s that shaped them to try and understand what it taught us about the world and a woman's place in it. It launched last week. This podcast is sponsored by AdvertiseCast. AdvertiseCast connects thousands of podcasts with thousands of advertisers and has been matching podcasts with brands since 2016. Find your fit. Join AdvertiseCast, the premier podcasting network, at advertisecast.com. And that's the latest from our newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe, we're at podnews.net.